The story kicks off in a dreary, soaked meadow where Dunk, played by Peter Claffey, is digging his old master Ser Arlen's grave. He's muddy, exhausted, and gives a short, honest eulogy. Ser Arlen only hit him when he deserved it. For a moment, that hangs in the air. Then we cut to a funny, awkward flashback of young Dunk getting slapped for every mistake. It's grounded and real, setting the tone for this world. Now Dunk's completely alone. He's got Ser Arlen's sword and 3 horses, Thunder, Sweetfoot, and Chestnut. When he tries the sword, it feels too big, almost like it doesn't belong to him. The classic Game of Thrones theme starts up, but just as things get dramatic, Dunk slips behind a tree to relieve himself. A quick reminder this isn't the glamorous side of knighthood. Dunk heads to Ashford Meadow for a tournament, hoping it's his chance to make a name for himself. Along the way, he stops at a rundown inn. Out front, he meets a sharp-eyed, bald kid he assumes is a stable boy and tells him to look after the horses. Inside, things get weird fast. A drunk nobleman warns Dunk off, saying he dreamed about him, then flips him a gold Targaryen coin. Dunk notices but doesn't understand the significance. Coming back outside, Dunk finds the bald kid dressed in Ser Arlen's armor, sitting on a horse. The boy introduces himself as Egg, played by Dexter Sol Ansel, and asks to be Dunk's squire. He points out Dunk, not exactly knightly, wearing a rope for a belt. Dunk turns him down, tossing him a coin and telling him he's better off without a master like him. Ashford is chaos, loud, bright, full of pride. Dunk blunders into a doorframe looking for Master of Games plumber Tom Vaughan Lawler, claiming Ser Arlen knighted him. Plumber isn't buying it. He wants a witness, but Dunk has none. Plumber jokes and warns Dunk about lying. If he wants to compete, he needs a knight's recommendation, maybe Sir Manfred Dundarian. The catch, if Dunk loses, he loses everything. Horses, armor, all of it, with no way to buy them back. People keep reminding Dunk of his place. Prostitutes mock hedge knights as cheap knockoffs. Dunk spots Sir Stephen Fossaway showing off and meets Raymond Fossaway, Sean Thomas, who's actually decent. Dunk keeps trying to get Sir Manfred's backing, but Manfred's always asleep or unavailable. Dunk ends up alone by a stream, camping under a tree, his dreams slipping further away. Raymond eventually helps, inviting Dunk to Sir Lionel Baratheon's tent, Daniel Ings. It's a wild scene, knights drinking, shouting, with Lionel wearing a giant antler crown, calling himself the Laughing Storm. He notices Dunk towering over the crowd and asks why he's there. Dunk just says he's there for supper, making Lionel laugh. They get into a silly but intense contest, stomping on each other's feet. Later, Dunk asks Lionel about his chances in the tourney. Lionel tells him straight up, none. Afterwards, Dunk finally gets to Sir Manfred, but Manfred brushes him off, doesn't remember Ser Arlen or any of his father's men. Dunk leaves, discouraged. Back at camp, Egg is waiting. He's taken care of the horses, built a fire, caught and cooked a fish. Dunk sees the loyalty in the boy and decides to take him on as his squire, warning him that it'll be a hard life but promising he'll never go hungry. That night they lie under the stars. A green shooting star blazes across the sky. Egg says it's good luck. Dunk looks at the fancy tents of the highborn and smiles. They might have gold and comfort, but they're missing the open sky. Right now, Dunk and Egg are the lucky ones. Dunk is searching for something simple, proof of who he is. He rides through Ashford, asking every lord he can find if they remember Ser Arlen of Penetree. All he wants is for someone to say yes, to have one memory, one person willing to vouch for his old master. As Dunk searches, memories rush in: childhood alongside Ser Arlen, dusty roads, rough lessons, and moments that are more human than heroic, like Ser Arlen naked after spending the night with a woman. This isn't the stuff of legend. Ser Arlen was just a hedge knight, stubborn and real. Then the mood shifts as House Targaryen arrives, banners blazing. Prince Baelor Breakspear enters with calm authority, his brother Mikar beside him, cold and severe, and behind them, Aerion Brightflame, grinning and looking for trouble. Aerion immediately mocks Dunk, mistaking him for a stable boy, but Dunk stands firm. There's tension between them from the start. Dunk meets 2 Kingsguard, Sir Roland Crakehall and Sir Donal of Duskendale, and the mood softens. Sir Donal shares that he came from humble beginnings. Maybe it's possible to make your mark without high birth. Desperate, Dunk sneaks into Lord Ashford's castle and stumbles into a private Targaryen discussion. He's caught and brought before Prince Baelor. Baelor isn't angry, he's curious. Dunk asks him directly if he remembers Ser Arlen of Penetree. Baelor does. He recalls jousting against him, noting Arlen never won but never shamed himself. Baelor says it took 4 lances to unhorse him. Dunk corrects him, it was 7. Baelor appreciates the honesty and grants Dunk his support. Dunk finally gets to enter the tourney. But Baelor tells Dunk he can't use Ser Arlen's sigil anymore, he needs his own. Dunk goes to Tansel the puppeteer with Egg at his side, and together they design a new shield. A sunset for Ser Arlen, an elm tree for their camp, and a shooting star. It's a symbol of luck and memory. Reality sets in, armor is expensive. Dunk sells his white mare Sweetfoot to pay for it, making the buyer promise to care for her. He vows to win her back. Night falls and the jousts begin. Knights charge, lances shatter, the crowd roars. Egg is wide-eyed. Dunk feels the pressure and danger. This is no longer just practice. Back at camp, Dunk finally voices his fear. Ser Arlen never won, never made songs or earned fame, dying by the road with only Dunk to witness it. Maybe that's how it is for most knights. But then Dunk remembers what truly matters. Ser Arlen raised him, taught him right from wrong, how to stand tall and fight fair. That's the legacy that counts. Dunk tells Egg, clear and certain, that Ser Arlen of Penetree was his master, and Dunk is what he left behind. Tomorrow the world will see what Ser Arlen's hand made. Before sunrise, Egg lies awake, restless with thoughts of the upcoming tourney. Wanting to prove himself, he sneaks out with Dunk's sword and their massive horse Thunder, but his attempts at heroics end in awkward comedy. Thunder ignores him completely. Suddenly, Sir Robin Rissling steps out, all menace and legend, demanding to know if Egg's a horse thief. Egg stands firm and the danger ebbs, but Robin's warning lingers. At camp, Dunk Peter Claffey is up early too. He teases Egg, but there's care beneath it, showing him how to mend a patch and brush Thunder. Egg, ever awkward, blurts out a question about growing hair, leaving Dunk bewildered. The real question: Egg doesn't want to leave after the tourney. Dunk keeps it simple, win, and Egg can stay. Tourney day brings nerves. Dunk throws up, dreading the lists. Plumber Tom Vaughan-Lawler points out Dunk's odds are non-existent. The first day is for lords and legends, not hedge knights. Later, Dunk's attempt to flirt with Tansel Tanzing Crawford flops. He asks about goose eggs, gets a polite smile, and beats a retreat. In the stands, Egg is wide-eyed and excitable, dreaming of glory while munching a sandwich and fantasizing about marrying nobility. Dunk listens, part amused, part sobered by reality. Plumber corners Dunk by a creek, hinting at tough times ahead. Lord Ashford is broke, winter is coming, and food will be scarce. He suggests Dunk throw a match for a payoff. Dunk hates the idea but promises to consider it. Back at the lists, Prince Aerion Brightflame, Finn Bennett, arrives, intimidating in his flaming skull helmet. He challenges Sir Humphrey Harding and on the second pass viciously kills the knight's horse, injuring Humphrey and shocking the crowd. Riots break out, Kingsguard intervene, and Egg whispers the truth: Aerion's actions weren't accidental. Dunk warns Egg, a squire must be ready for anything. Later, a fortune teller, Jenna Boyd, gives Dunk a hopeful prophecy, but tells Egg he'll be king, burn, and be unlamented, an omen that rattles him. That night, Dunk drinks with Sir Raymond Fossaway, Sean Thomas, who gossips about the Targaryens, but the royal names are just rumors for now. Elsewhere, Egg watches Tansel's puppet show, a dragon defeated by a knight. Aerion interrupts, accuses her of treason, destroys her stage, and cruelly breaks her fingers. Egg flees to find help. Dunk arrives mid-chaos and without hesitation attacks Aerion, beating him until arrested by the guards. Aerion, furious, calls for Dunk's punishment and sneers at his loyalty to Tansel. As guards close in, Egg suddenly commands the scene, revealing himself as Targaryen royalty and Aerion's own brother. His hidden identity, Prince Aegon Targaryen, stuns everyone. Dunk kneels, realizing he's struck a prince, but his life is spared because his squire is a dragon. Dunk is locked up in a freezing, dripping cell beneath Ashford Castle, straw scattered on cold stone, waiting to find out his fate after punching Prince Aerion. Footsteps approach, Egg arrives, now dressed as a Targaryen prince with guards at his side, a sharp contrast from the bald, ragged boy Dunk once knew. Egg asks the guards to leave and tries to apologize, but Dunk is hurt and suspicious, demanding to know if he was just a plaything for royals. Egg explains he was meant to squire for his brother Daeron, but ended up with Dunk by choice after Daeron tried to stay hidden and drunk during the tourney. Egg's head was shaved to disguise his silver hair, but he wanted to serve, so he picked Dunk. Egg, on the verge of tears, tells Dunk that Prince Baelor wants to see him. Dunk is brought to the library where Baelor Breakspear, played by Bertie Carvel, pores over law books. Dunk tries to defend Egg, saying he's a good squire, but Baelor says Egg should have come to him instead of involving a hedge knight in royal affairs. Egg quietly wishes Dunk had killed Aerion. Baelor explains the trouble. Mikar, Egg's father, found Daeron drunk, and Daeron lied, claiming Dunk kidnapped Egg. Now Dunk faces charges of assault and kidnapping. Aerion also accuses Tansel's puppet show of treason for depicting a dragon's death, calling it an attack on House Targaryen. Dunk asks if Baelor would have stepped in to save Tansel, and Baelor admits he might have, but he's a prince, Dunk is just a hedge knight. Dunk insists that all knights should protect the innocent, but Baelor doesn't answer. The law says anyone who strikes a prince loses the hand that struck, and since Dunk also kicked Aerion, he could lose a foot too. Baelor offers Dunk a last chance, trial by combat, but Baelor wants to know if Dunk is truly good enough to win. Dunk stands before Baelor, Meekar, and Lord Ashford and demands trial by combat. Aerion refuses a one-on-one fight and calls for a trial of 7 champions on each side, with the gods to judge. Meekar calls Aerion a coward, but the rules are set. Dunk must find 6 knights to stand with him by dawn or forfeit everything. Back at his camp, Dunk apologizes to his horses. Raymond Fossaway finds him and takes him to their tent. Stefan Fossaway volunteers to fight with Dunk, eager for glory, and heads off to recruit more champions. Raymond suggests running away, but Dunk wonders if this is his punishment for forgetting his place. Egg shows up, loyal as ever, still wanting to be Dunk's squire. Then Daeron appears, and Dunk angrily confronts him over his lies. Egg pleads for calm. Daeron reveals that Meekar will fight for Aerion and has ordered Daeron to join as well, along with the Kingsguard. Dunk worries about Egg fighting against his family, but Egg is clear. He remembers Aerion's cruelty and says he wishes his brother dead. Daeron asks to speak privately and confides in Dunk about his prophetic dreams, describing a vision of Dunk, fire, and a dead dragon. Dunk survives, but the dragon does not. Later, Dunk visits the ruined puppet tent, where Steely Pate gives him the shield Tansel made before fleeing to Dawn, a sunset field, green elm, shooting star above. Dunk thinks it feels like death, but Pate points out the green leaves mean life. Pate charges only a copper. At dawn, the fog lingers as Dunk prepares for the trial, hoping Stefan will stand with him. Instead, it's Egg who has rallied the champions. Sir Robin Rissling, Sir Lionel Baratheon, Sir Humphrey Harding, and Sir Humphrey Beesbury step up, making 6 with Dunk. But Stefan joins Aerion's side, choosing promised lands over honor. Raymond, furious, slams Stefan and rejects him. With only 5 allies, Raymond demands to be knighted so he can fight in Dunk's place, standing with true friends against impossible odds. Ashford's field is quiet now, the banners hanging limp after the trial of 7. The cost of the day is written on every face. Dunk lies battered and bruised, stitched up and aching. He looks like a man who survived the impossible. Sir Lionel Baratheon, the laughing storm Daniel Ings, is at his side. Lionel's rough and loud, but his offer is genuine. Come to Storm's End, be like a brother, whether they love or hate each other, the respect is real. But Dunk refuses. He can't shake the deaths from the trial. He believes trouble follows him, so he keeps his distance. Paying his respects, Dunk encounters Prince Valar Targaryen. Valar, hollowed by grief for his father Baelor, asks the question haunting everyone: why did Baelor die and not you? Dunk admits he wonders the same, but has no answer. Next, Prince Meekar, Sam Sproul, summons Dunk. The air is thick with guilt. They both know Meekar's blow killed Baelor. Meekar says Aerion will be sent away and offers Dunk a place at Summerhall. Swear to House Targaryen, train Egg safely, finish his own training. Dunk's reply is blunt: he's had enough of princes. Then comes the heart of the episode, a vision of Sir Arlen of Penetree, Danny Webb, the man who raised Dunk. Dunk finally asks the question that's haunted him: why didn't Sir Arlen ever knight him? The vision ends before any answer or ceremony, no vows, no sword on the shoulder. It's the truth, Dunk never truly became a knight, never took the vows, but has lived by the code anyway. In the vision, Sir Arlen tells Dunk a story about the Penetree, where soldiers nailed pennies before battle, most never returning to claim them. A true knight, Sir Arlen says, always finishes the story. Dunk breaks down, grieving for Sir Arlen, for Baelor, for the boy from Flea Bottom who wanted to be good enough. Meanwhile, Egg Dexter Sol Ansel faces his own darkness. Haunted by Baelor's death and years under Aerion's cruelty, Egg sneaks into his brother's room at night, knife in hand. Meekar appears and quietly takes the knife, just putting a hand on Egg's shoulder, silent but showing how damaged this family is. Something shifts in Dunk. After talking with Daeron about the Targaryen family's poison, Dunk returns to Meekar with a counteroffer. He'll take Egg as his squire, but not to Summerhall. They'll travel the roads, sleep rough, eat with the small folk. Meekar resists. A prince shouldn't live like that. Dunk argues, Daeron never slept rough, Aerion always ate well, and look how they turned out. Meekar calls Egg his last son, voice softening, but never gives clear permission. The silence is heavy. When Dunk is set to leave, he says goodbye to Raymond Fossaway, Sean Thomas, who gives back Sweetfoot, Dunk's horse. Dunk sees Raymond's pregnant wife and decides the horse should stay with them. As Dunk rides out, Egg catches up. My lord father says I am to serve you. Dunk corrects him, pride in his voice. Serve you, sir. He gives Egg a horse, Chestnut, and together they head out, talking about the future and puppet shows in Dawn. For the first time, the road ahead feels open. For a moment, it's as if Sir Arlen rides alongside them, before fadding away. Hope hangs in the air. Then back at Ashford, the Targaryens prepare to leave. Mikar suddenly panics, Egg is missing.